Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Pro Wrestling Logic YouTube channel and the World Class Championship Wrestling Review Series. We are marching through the month of December in 1984, and we've got a review match before we begin here, or bits of a review anyway, as the review of last week's encounter between Terry Gordy and Killer Khan, with the attempted handshake afterwards of referee Kerry Von Erich. They eventually do shake hands. There's a sign of respect between the two rivals, rivalry going on several years. But anyway, as we move through that, we do see the importance of, I guess, the burying of the hatchet to a lesser degree of Von Erich and Von Erich and Gordy, at least for a moment. Then we go back to Reunion Arena. This is Thanksgiving Star Wars, so a couple of weeks removed. But the Pretty Young Things, who have been your American Tag Team Champions, which of course Pretty Young Thing, Norvell Austin, and Coco Ware versus the Fantastics, Bobby Fulton, Tommy Rogers. Fantastics are your new tag team champions here, and they are a heck of a team. I don't like about World Class. They kind of go through title changes and don't always announce them on television. So unless you're following the weekly program and or you're getting a program that's not on the network, you may not always know. Coco Ware, obviously the Memphis standout. Norvell Austin, been around a little longer, still a Southern wrestler. Fulton and Rogers, a relatively new tag team over the past couple of years. A lot of speed and quickness for all four men, considering their state in the world. The Pretty Young Things, obviously, your heels, your Fantastics, your baby faces. Less than a month away from the original Midnight Express coming into World Class, which is just totally going to be awesome to watch. But anyway, the Fantastics, obviously your decisive baby faces, almost in the mindset of a Rock and Roll Express type team. Pretty Young Things, your African American tag team, who are prone to use a lot of cheating tactics. Lots of speed, and both members of the Pretty Young Things, when given the opportunity, can hit things like backflips, lots of drop kicks, lots of speed related moves. So the team the matches with the Fantastics, a big deal, and the Fantastics are also really good with double team maneuvers, whether they be things like double drop kicks, double hip tosses. You actually see a couple of spots here where both members of each team are trying to see what's coming next. So there's a little bit of doubt there. We do kind of focus a little bit on the Star Wars main show epitaph. I mean, it seems like they do Star Wars at least 2 to 3 times a year. One in the summer, one around Thanksgiving or Christmas. Miscommunication between the champions, between the challengers, though, the Pretty Young Things, leads to a shoulder tackle between both team members. The Fantastics are individuals who really do come in and add some youth and exuberance in a non-Von Erich way into the babyface division, which I think is something that's lost today. When you look at the WWE roster, just as an example, there's so little youth there. AEW does much better with that. But even like Ring of Honor, Impact, pretty good, but they don't really develop their youthful talents as much as they should in terms of character. So it's just so much here where youthful baby faces are a big deal. Headbutt, almost miscommunication between the Fantastics and Pretty Young Things. Fantastics getting a little bit aggravated. They will use some cheating tactics from here to there when needed to get advantages going their way if needed. And so even though they're baby faces, they're not what I call wimpy baby faces. If you need to cheat to stay ahead, you do it. Um, Brought back in the hard way by Coco. Where is Tommy Rogers at a point? Match is constant motion, which I would say if you like old school tag team wrestling with a lot of, high spots for the time, then this is definitely 100% worth your time to go out of your way to watch. Um, Amazingly, there is a hot tag where the crowd just goes nuts. Fulton tagged back in, and he goes to complete town. Again, miscommunication between the Pretty Young Things leads to trouble and leads to a victory for the Fantastics. The Fantastics retain their championships here. We see the returning Chick Donovan in the next contest on the event here. Chick Donovan, who'd been away for a while due to surgery and the like. I think we've seen him once or twice before here, but he finally gets in there with, of all things and all people, Skandar Akbar. Akbar, of course, the one that gave Killer Khan the permission to go after Donovan, and so Akbar in the ring seems to happen about twice a year, probably more on the horn than on television, but regardless, Akbar as a wrestler, especially even though he had history as a wrestler before becoming a manager, is a big thing in Texas and would be a draw for those who maybe hadn't seen it, kids who hadn't seen it and the like. Very basic match. We see Akbar go to work on the already injured or previously injured leg of Donovan. And it kind of goes back and forth there. We then see the benefit of Donovan working over the leg of Akbar and going for potential submission victories. Doesn't get the victories that or the submissions that he wants out of it, but still, fans up for everything. A leg sweep, awkwardly done by Donovan. Donovan also goes with the leg cruncher to try and literally tear the knee of Akbar. Akbar breaks down, uses a bit of a stomach claw. Odd that the lead heel manager would use a move that was made famous by obviously a large adversary of his. Donovan wraps the leg of Akbar around the post, and then Killer Khan makes his way out with a bandage and beats up on Chick Donovan again, so that kind of goes there. Kerry Von Erich makes his way into Clean House there post-match, and kind of got a bit of an eventual square off, I would assume, between Kerry Von Erich and Killer Khan in one-on-one action. We go to Kevin Von Erich interview where he claims revenge on Chris Adams. Adams also in a locker room situation, basically getting rubbed down by Gary Hart, getting ready. Hart claiming that he wants Adams to get fair shots, wants him to get rid of the Von Erichs. The Von Erichs are holding Adams back and the like. Obviously, this is the match between Kevin and Chris Adams is not going to be a pretty sight, as we do see the continued brawling with both men. Obviously, it was Adams who tried to end Kevin's career with a chair earlier in the year, and this is kind of their, I wouldn't say blow off, but certainly a first major time that Kevin would have the opportunity to gain a measure of revenge. He hopes to do so here. They brawl to the outside of the ring, and there's a chase spot that ensues. Kevin grabs a chair and almost gets even with Chris Adams, but gets super kicked in the jaw before he can use the chair. Chris sends Kevin back to the outside and leads to an attempted use of the announcer's table with the bell on it, and timekeeper's table, announcer's table, whatever have you. Chris uses that as a weapon. He's going to use any weapon he can use in this scenario. Um, Adams, who has been a major force in world class for more than a year, showing more aggression than he probably ever has in this particular matchup. And then we see an attempted top rope maneuver from Adams, but he gets crotched for his trouble. Then Kevin goes into the corner, tries a monkey flip, but Chris blocks it and hits a top rope splash. 1, 2, and gets almost a victory, but manages to pull the tights, and Adams does get a victory. Kevin goes to the outside, posts that, grabs a chair, wooden chair, much like the one that he was laid out with a few months before, and it is clear that he wants to exact revenge, and he does on Chris. Adams lays him out, busts him wide open. There's a lot of blood here. Actually, a lot of blood in world class in the last few weeks, but Adams is laid out with that wooden chair busted over his head. He's busted open, and Adams is basically carried to the back, but we close this particular version of World Class Championship Wrestling with that action. So, till next time, keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment. Till next time, everybody.